Board of Health meeting, July the 9th. It is 4 p.m. Call the meeting to order. And the first thing we'll do is board reorganization. So Gil is in charge of the meeting.
I'd like to have a motion for the board to reorganize.
I'll make a motion for the board to reorganize.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I will nominate myself as chair.
Second?
Yep.
Second?
Okay.
Okay. Do we have another nomination?
Give it some time.
Oh, okay.
I'll nominate myself as chair, I guess, Kevin Perkins.
Second?
So help me out as a new member. What happens here?
So you can second a motion. Doesn't necessarily mean that you want to vote for it. It can go second, and then you can have a discussion on it.
And then
it would go to a vote, and then you can have.
Yeah.
all right.
In
we
a
just
second.
to discussion and to talk about why each person wants to nominate themselves with the.
Yeah, I mean, what you can typically do is just, you can second a motion. It doesn't necessarily mean that you support what the motion is, but it allows it to get to a point of making a decision on it and to allow further discussion. But without that, the motion is essentially just dead, that it can't even be entertained. If you follow me.
Okay, so there's separate motions on the table. Okay, so, and we'll move to discussion after. So I'll second Teresa. Arlene. Arlene's motion, and now we'll discuss.
Okay.
All right, so hold on, I've got to go back now.
Gotta go back.
Yeah.
So you just second the nomination that Arlene made to make herself chair, correct?
Yes, for
Yes.
discussion.
For
Okay.
discussion, yep.
But there's a motion on the floor.
We haven't.
Oops.
So do we start over again? If he doesn't second that motion, nothing happens. Do we start over again?
I don't have enough, so if I'm the
Yeah.
tiebreaker, I don't have enough information.
This is
Yeah.
true. But what he's saying is Kevin made a motion.
Yep.
And we haven't seconded that. Do we?
Oh, then I'll second Kevin's motion as well. I'll second both motions.
We can only do one at a time. That's what's on the floor. Sorry.
Go ahead.
So essentially, the first motion kind of came and went, no one seconded it. The second
Right.
motion, if you choose to second it, then that will allow us to get to
That's what he
the
just did.
discussion.
Right, then I'll second the second motion,
Okay.
and then we can move to discussion.
Yes.
So now we move to discussion.
Sorry, Teresa.
No, that's all right.
Thank you for your
It's my computer's being wonky on me.
I'm being wonky. So I seconded Kevin's motion
For
Right.
discussion.
for discussion.
So what questions did you have?
So there are a few questions that I think we need to address. Board attendance is one. Are we meeting at the right time? Because we need to have everybody here to meet. So to have a better understanding of how this is all going to work and how we're going to work together. Right. So Kevin, you've had trouble with the schedule. So do we need to make a change to the schedule?
4 p.m. is typically good for me. I mean, it's just, again, it's at the end of the day, it's a volunteer position that other obligations have to come first before this, to pay the bills and whatnot. But typically 4 p.m. is fine for me. I mean, if others do need to shift it, I mean, I'm flexible. Tuesday is my night off from my full-time job. And then I work my other job. Every once in a while I get caught up, but typically, I mean, I think that's probably the only meetings I've missed. There's a couple recently.
When the planning was done for the meetings moving forward through the end of the year, he
Yeah.
made everybody aware of the
I
two
wasn't gonna
meetings
be
he was
here
not going
that
to be able
last
to
meeting.
attend.
Okay.
It was the last meeting and then November, October.
October, maybe?
Maybe I'll.
I have it written in my office, that he was not going to be able to attend.
Yeah, when we set the meeting dates, I did.
Yeah.
I did
Was
state
it
those.
on previous meetings?
No, future meetings. I think that we all need to be present. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because we kind of can't get anything done.
Yeah, we can't get much done if it's just two of us. And I'll acknowledge that that was put forward, that the two that you had previously missed were informed.
Yeah.
I mean, just to clarify that, the board can act with 2 members. I mean, I know this is kind of unusual that we had some rather bigger decisions to make in the last couple of meetings. That, yeah, you want a full board for that. I agree that some decisions do need to be made by all 3 members, but you can still conduct board business with only 2 members.
It still represents a quorum.
You have a quorum with 2 people.
So we agree that there's no need to change hours. And that's,
I mean, I personally don't. I mean, typically 4 o'clock is fine for me. Like I said, Tuesday and Wednesdays are my days off, my nights off. But just, yeah, every once in a while, work calls. I have the job, so. And, you know, it is what it is. Do the best I can, but unfortunately, I got to go to the one that's paying me.
Yeah.
This doesn't pay the bills as much as I enjoy it.
And then agendas, like what would your agendas be going forward? What would you like to see the board accomplish as chair? What would you push to accomplish, move to accomplish as chair? I'm sorry, I feel like I'm interviewing you, but I need to understand both points of view.
Right.
I mean, as far as the agendas go, I mean, I think if we could try to, I mean, it's one thing if we have an agenda out and then we have to update it and add more stuff to it, but maybe, Teresa, if we could in the future, maybe try to get it out a little earlier, just so we have a little more time to review it, because again, it's
Earlier than Thursday?
just like a little more, just to give us a little more time to review it, look it over. If there is some stuff
Well, the reason it comes out on Thursday is because it has to be posted on Thursday.
No, right, but I'm saying if we have a draft, let's just say Monday we have it out, and it has to be revised or something, then we could send the revised, and then it's just maybe one item that possibly got added on or something. Just so we have it, to give us a little more notice to kind of look at it, look things over, septic plans, that kind of stuff, just so it's not like just Thursday and then we have the weekend kind of to look it over.
You don't want to be looking through all this stuff on the weekend?
I'm
I
saying
don't
just-
know what
just
you're
to-
inferring.
Just to give us a little more heads up, and again, if we have to post a revised one, that has to be done by Thursday.
Well, I can always send it before it's posted, like on Monday.
That's fine.
Put
You wanna
everything
send
on
out
it
a
that I
draft or
think
something?
it should be on it, and then if anybody wants to
Could be a
add
draft.
something, whoever the chair is okays everything, and then I can post it on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is just my 2 cents, just
Okay.
something that I think
No, that's fine.
will help just to give a little more time to review and that stuff.
I don't think I was clear either. I didn't mean like the administration of the agenda. I
You
mean
meant what we wanted
we
to
want
see
to
the board
accomplish
to
as a
do.
Yep. So as chair, like if you were to have, if you were to make change or like, what would the outcomes of our year on the board look like?
Well, I mean, as far as I don't know if I'm misunderstanding your question, but the chair's, I don't want to call it authority, but the chair really has no further authority over any other board member. The chair is really just like kind of the team captain, that they're there to run the meeting. They're not there to make unilateral decisions or to do things on their own or anything like that. They're there to basically be the communication between A to B and not to make decisions for the board or communicate directly and not pass that information along to the boards. We're a team, we make team decisions, and that's essentially like a team captain. Yes, they run the meetings, they do a lot of the speaking at the meetings, and they're supposed to kind of, referee and control the meetings too, so it's not a free-for-all, just speaking out, everyone's speaking out of turn, that kind of thing. And as far as the agendas go, I mean, again, that's, if the board or board members want to see more stuff, less stuff on the agenda, that's up to the board members to do and decide, not necessarily for the chair, in my opinion. The chair is just kind of, the extra line of communication between the office to bring things back to the board, to the selectman's office to bring things back to the board, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I answered your question, but
Absolutely. Yes.
No, okay.
So, and that's a better way to frame the question. As chair, this is what I would hope to achieve. And what I'm hearing in your answer is the chair is a team captain. It manages procedural action, manages communications between the board and the agency.
So I can tell you what I would like to see moving forward is the Board of Health do more in terms of education, composting, waste removal from the trash, things that sort of always get pushed to the side, things that we need to do but never get done. Because it seems like we've slowed down a little bit with all the septic plans, and that, we could do more education in terms of, people in town. And then representing the board when necessary. Like I got called to come to a meeting a couple weeks ago, by the Board of Selectmen. And it was just to ask about stickers, what we were doing, how we were doing it, to get the information out. That doesn't happen that often.
What meeting was that?
Board of Selectmen,
Oh, when was that?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh. I didn't
They
know
just
it.
wanted to know in terms of getting the information out. When were they available? How were they available?
Oh, okay.
Any further discussion?
I don't know if he's got all these questions answered yet.
Yeah. This is an awkward situation.
Peter, if I may, again, just to what Arlene was saying, that she wanted to, see on the agenda or see the board work on. Again, these are things that any board member can suggest, at a meeting to the chair and through the chair to Teresa, that for the next meeting, can we add X, Y, Z to our agenda? Can we start working on that? It's not a decision by the chair to say, this is what we're going to work on, this is what we're going to focus on, this is how we're going to move forward.
Yeah.
It's
As a board.
It's as a board. Everything is as a board. It's board decisions, board discussions, and that's how it should be done.
And I didn't say to add it to the agenda, I just said the board focus.
No,
I'd like to see the board
understand.
focus.
I understand. Yeah, and that's fine. And just right now, that anyone could, to the chairman, suggest those items that you just mentioned, to say, hey, I'd like to see this, or what do you guys think about this, that we could start moving in this direction and looking into these things.
Okay.
Well, the motion's on the floor and seconded for Kevin to be chair, Kevin Perkins to be chair. Gonna take a vote?
So you can move to the vote, right? Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
I guess.
Aye.
Wait a minute, she's
I know, my thing is like clicking around. How many is that?
2.
2, okay.
2-1.
And are you voting or abstaining?
I'm voting.
What are you voting?
Okay.
No, okay, I just want to make sure, because I'm looking here, so I
I
can't
know
see
you were
what's going on
having
here.
glitches. I know,
Okay,
I saw
and
that.
it's very glitchy over here. Okay,
All right.
perfect.
Well,
Nominate you vice chair. Is it still vice chair?
I'll second that.
all in favor?
He looked a little shell-shocked because he wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
All in favor?
You're fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Aye.
All in favor? You can vote for yourself too.
What was that vote?
3.
3-0.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I guess I'll take over. So we've
Perkins is the
accomplished.
chairman and Mr. Butler is vice chair.
So we've accomplished board reorganization. Line item 2 on our agenda today is approved Board of Health minutes, June 11th, 2024. I will be abstaining from this. I wasn't at that meeting. Mr. Butler, have you reviewed those? Are you good with those?
Just gonna take a look at the hard copy
Okay,
again.
sure.
I did review it.
Yeah, take your time.
Oh, this is gonna be him.
I'm gonna text him.
I haven't got my phone with me.
The clock's dead.
Motion to approve minutes from June 11th.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Okay.
Okay. So we have to have a discussion on transfer station hours. Were we waiting for
Chris was gonna show up, I mean, who was it?
Chris from the transfer station?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't get it, before we went to close the transfer station for one day. And they suggested, the police themselves suggested, even I suggested Sunday, give them Sunday, even at the day that closes. I wish he was here because they explained it better.
He said he was coming.
So just to clarify, and for public record, did the employee hours for the transfer station realize a reduction as well? Same as
The whole transfer station, yeah, for one day.
It was voted at
Wow.
town meeting.
Mm.
It has not been approved by the union as of yet.
And that's, yeah.
So you could, vote it pending outcome of the union negotiations, because it has to be negotiated.
It has to go through them.
Just like the Board of Health hours, we're still in negotiations regarding my hours. So I'm still working the same schedule. But you could vote hours pending the outcome, I guess.
Because it really does come down to the union.
So, I mean, we have to reduce a certain amount of hours is what we're looking to do, or just reduce one day?
One day.
His word is one full day.
And I
Okay,
didn't
so-
come early enough to get the numbers, so where they came up with the amount of money.
All right, so I don't know if I feel completely comfortable making a hard decision, but something pending, contracts, union approval, that kind of thing, or selectmen's approval if it needs it, that I guess it would be just more of a, a support vote, I guess. I mean, that's how I feel comfortable taking a vote. I don't know about you guys, but.
In support of the union.
Well, just in support of, this is the our board's recommendation, I guess is what we'll call it. That our recommendation would be to do that.
One day over another day.
Yeah.
This will be another month before we'll meet again, and by then, you would think that the union would have come up with agreeing to allow it to close one day.
I've like a couple of questions about payment on those days. Is Sunday time and a half?
No.
No,
Okay, so Sunday is
Not a
straight time.
work day.
Okay.
Yep.
Mondays of holidays, if they're open, is it time and a half?
they're never open.
Never open on Mondays.
They're closed. If it's a holiday, they're closed.
Okay. These are just some things.
Yep.
You wouldn't know.
That we wouldn't know, right?
No.
So, are there any days of the week that would have financial impact to the employees or to the town?
Any day,
Just
any day.
Well, above and beyond a standard workday, sorry. So there's no provisions for time and a half on certain days or
No.
things like this, okay?
No.
Not unless they were to work like a holiday or something, but
we
they don't work
we're not open
holidays.
on holidays.
Okay.
And the recommendation from the employees at the transfer station, because again, this is something that I think it's bad enough that someone, an employee is getting their hours cut due to budget cuts, that, I think we have to also support, our employees, and employee retention is important, that kind of stuff. So, me personally, I kind of heavily weigh what their opinion is up there as to what days are slow, what days are more demanding, and what days they prefer. And if we can make it work and it works for everyone, I think we should kind of support that as well, or definitely heavily consider that.
Oh,
And
he's right there.
Yeah.
Chris,
Chris said Sunday.
come on.
Would you run?
Yeah, I wanted you guys to give you a chance to open up first and get everything
You
straightened
came
out.
just in time.
how you doing, Chris?
Hey,
So we just started.
Have you met Mr. Butler?
We have.
Peter Butler, Chris Callahan.
So we just began discussion on the hours of the transfer station. We were kind of discussing what the feedback was from you guys up there. What days you guys would kind of, appreciate or consider or recommend on your behalf to close an additional day.
we discussed it, and I kind of bounced it around. Sunday would be preferable, several reasons for us and for logistics purposes. So we can't call anything in on Sundays or have anything picked up on the weekend. So if we were to close a weekday, that would leave us 2 days to get things picked up and orchestrate pickups, and we're already having difficulty getting that done now. We're working with a new person at Harvey Waste. We're working with the senior roll-off guy and the assistant, because we were going through a guy named Brad, and he was absent a lot, not getting the calls for pickups. we were trying to get light bulbs picked up, was like overstocked on them, so I got a hold of them again, so we're trying to get that set up. But, I mean, Sunday, it'd be good to have, I haven't been off for a weekend in 10 years, since we started doing Sundays, and, I mean, on the weekends, that's the lesser of the busy days. I'd have to say, like, in order of how busy, like Tuesday would be the quietest day, but I mean, it's not much of a difference now, like Friday and Saturday are the busiest days.
Could you just recap what your guys' hours are up there, just so I fully understand and I can?
We have 40 hours up there. So
No, I'm sorry, your hours of operation.
Friday through Tuesday, so that's our Monday through Friday.
What time?
Yeah, so.
What time?
8 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. Well, 8:30 to 4:45 is the hours of the gates open.
So 8:30 to 4:45.
But you guys get there at 8?
Yes.
And what days do you close?
Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Wednesday, Thursday. And you guys, so you're open Friday.
Yeah, so the way I suggested would be 2 on, 2 off, 2 on, 1 off, and then 2 on again. So, it'd be
You're saying for staffing?
Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, Saturday.
I used to have the days.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was looking at right now. And then you're saying you prefer to close Sunday. And I agree with you that.
Yeah, logistics, that makes sense. I mean, any day you pick, it's going to affect someone negatively.
Right.
And also, I think a weekend day, what if they plan on restoring hours in the fall, God willing, it'd be a lot more convincing to bring back a weekend day than a weekday. A lot more people are going to want a weekend day back.
Right. No, I agree with you that it's kind of broken up. I mean, if you guys are supportive of that I think Sunday, like you said, you can't do normal operation. You can't get containers in and out. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's not a normal working day for.
No one picks up the phones on the weekend. Right. And in a pinch in the past, we've got pickups on Saturday, but they strongly say if you can avoid it, do it, because they can't guarantee anyone will come in on a Saturday. Most times, they can't get anyone. So.
Right, and like you said, really your days for operations are really, when I say operations, I mean, shipping, receiving, whatever you want to consider it. But you have Friday, Monday, Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
those are really your days. And to lose one of those days,
it would put us in a very, we're having trouble we've had several incidents where we've almost run out of room, mainly because the guy wasn't there, didn't put in for anything. And then when we called, they're like, hey, we didn't know, well, you're going to have to wait 2 days. And we're like, we just came off the weekend.
So hypothetically speaking, if we were to close on Sunday, I mean, how busy volume-wise is Sundays? Is there a lot of traffic in and out of there on Sundays? I don't personally use the transfer station, that's why I asked.
Sunday is sporadic. So Sunday is more an afternoon-ish, moderate traffic. Mornings are really quiet. I don't know if it's just a lot of people who go to services, whatnot, or Sunday's the day they wake up late and no one wants to do anything in the morning.
And you would still have, for people that work a normal Monday through Friday, they have, weekends off, that kind of thing. They're still going to have Saturday as an available day to use transportation. And the hours are still 8:30 to 4:45 across the board, right? There's no reduced hours on any days?
No. This is pending on what the union.
Yes.
Correct.
Still going to wait for them to delegate, because that's in their hands.
Yeah.
Right. And we were discussing that anything
whatever they decide, if you have to make this decision, I'm just trying to provide you with feedback in accordance to what the town meeting has decided.
Right. And I think that's kind of what we were looking at, was that our decision or recommendation would be, in sync with what the union comes back with as well. But I think we kind of need to have at least something kind of ironed out of what we're going to do going forward. Whether like you said, it's just temporary,
we don't know. I mean, everything's a mess.
They're meeting today too.
All right. Mr. Butler or Ms. Diaz, do either of you have any questions for Chris or any comments maybe?
I have a couple other comments.
Sure.
Your previous colleague had mentioned that maybe we meet quarterly, just to keep an open dialogue of how things are going up there, what you guys, any questions, concerns, on both parts. We should keep doing that. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm more than happy to put you on the agenda, have you here anytime you want. I mean, if you wanna do it as a regular
I'm not
thing.
gonna look for overtime like previously the board wanted me to meet here every week after.
Yeah.
And, it's just, but I don't mind coming in just so we have an open dialogue, anything, questions, concerns, things that are coming up, events that are going on, if fees are gonna change, just so I'm aware of that. Like some of the things like the bag fees changed, I was unaware. Things like that.
Didn't I send you an email about that?
I think it.
No, I mean, I fully support having you here. That's, I think that's a bonus. I mean, like I said, I don't personally use the transfer
Either
station.
me or John, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, either one of you, just someone that's on the ground up there to just bring us feedback of how things are actually going, operations of it up there. I mean, I fully support that.
It does seem like it's very busy up there. I mean, there's a lot of people that use it. I can't think of people off the top of my head that have not renewed their stickers yet, but I mean, it's still the first weekend, so.
There's a lot of them. I have to order more stickers.
Do you know what the number we're up to, just as a curiosity?
I can look it up. Hold on. Let me save this just in case something goes wonky again.
So just like clarifying remarks and like repeating back some of the things that I heard. The proposed day, Sunday, is not the busiest day. It's a moderate day. The busiest days being Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
Sunday is also a day that is more difficult for operations because there is no pickup, no collection from.
Yeah, and there's no one's available to call to schedule pickups either.
And no calls. Okay. So there are some administrative, logistical complications by being open on Sunday as well. Current schedule already has Wednesday and Thursday off. So the new schedule proposed would be Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. Monday, Tuesday, Friday are within the pickup in collection hours, and there's call availability. So any concerns about impact to residents by removing Sunday? Is there like family transport concerns, like people who can't otherwise transport themselves to the transfer station are getting a ride from somebody? I'm just trying to think of circumstances that might.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to run into that with
Any day.
Yep.
But as far as there's a couple group homes, but they come during the week.
Okay.
And there's like the group home that's down on Sydney Lane. They come in and they come during the week.
But there's not even a way for us to tell how many people come in on Sunday. Because the last time we did a traffic flow was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That would be the only way.
Everything, like, we were caught off guard with how this went, so we couldn't have figured out a good way to do it.
I do not have concerns with the current proposal, but as the chair said,
there will be grievances, obviously.
Yeah, of course. And it's pending the union decision as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for that feedback, though.
I guess my question is, would you pass that information on to Lisa? Because she's the one doing the negotiating.
Yeah, I mean,
Preference might be Sunday.
yeah, I think we should take like a vote on it tonight, but I don't know if we want to just make it like the board's recommendation
Yeah.
as a day, just so we're not
Yeah.
making,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
we're making a decision, but not saying, hey, the transfer
Right.
station's closed effectively today on
Per
Sunday.
recommendation, per reconciliation with the union. I
Right.
guess you could say.
It would just be a recommendation that we think that would be the best day to close. So then she's going to negotiate whatever she has to from there.
I think, to your question, Peter, I think no matter what we do, I think we're gonna have someone unhappy. No matter what day we choose, but that's why I was kind of looking at, okay, Saturday, Sunday, people that work the normal Monday through Friday, they live the normal lifestyle, normal days off, they have Saturday. I mean, I know you're gonna probably upset people that, oh, they can't get their Saturday and they used to go Sundays, but I think if we close during a weekday, I think operations-wise, I think that's more of an impact for us, because like he had said, that.
As of 10 years ago, when we switched from Thursday, closing Thursdays to open Sundays, there were several people upset about Thursday closure, but within like 2 weeks, they were over.
People have to adjust, and we have to adjust.
This whole
Residents
thing's
have
a
to
big
adjust.
adjustment for everybody.
It is.
So.
But it's what the people voted at town meeting, it's not what we wanted.
Right.
So my only other concern is it has to, we have to try to let this remain self-funded. And if we close on a day that is not convenient for a majority of residents and we lose their patronage to the transfer station,
Right.
that poses a financial risk to the operation of the transfer station as well. That's where my headspace is at now. And hearing that there's an operational concern, that there's still the Saturday available for people that work typical Monday through Friday. This makes sense. I do want to just point out that risk that financial loss could put the operations of at greater risk.
The other thing I was looking at too, I think if we chose Friday or if we chose Tuesday, you have 3 days that you close in a row.
Right.
And then you have Monday holidays.
That's kind of a long duration to be closed. That, as Chris had mentioned, that it's broken up. It's 2 days closed, 2 days open, day closed, and then 2 days open, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I stormed up, I'm like, how is, no matter where you go, like Peter said, people are gonna be, like people said, am I gonna get a percent back on my sticker fee now that, I was told this and now this, I'm like, that's the town voted for this, how this is gonna go.
They're still getting the full service. It's slightly limited hours. It's.
You gotta go to, October town meeting, if they're gonna change the hours back, you gotta go.
Right.
If you want it, you gotta speak up. That's how it works.
I think with the hand we've been dealt, I think that's probably, I support it anyway. What your recommendation is of Sunday, I think from a business standpoint, I think it makes sense worth trying, and if it needed to be adjusted in the future, I guess that would have to be reconsidered,
if it has to be changed, it can be changed too. If it has to be, But then we still have to negotiate with the union again at that point. It'll be worded what day it is.
That we get the information, once the decision is made, that we try it in every way to get the information out to people, because they're gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
And every time we've tried to do something, no matter what avenue, if you use cable, newspaper, somebody's not gonna get the information that we
The
try.
bacon sign really does wonders.
Yeah.
That saved our bacon this time with the stickers, because no one could argue. The sign's been there for 6 weeks.
But we don't know when the decision will be made, so. And when
It's probably
it'll
gonna be made
implemented.
like that.
But just that we
People have
try.
been asking me, and I said, we're talking about Sunday. We don't know what the union's gonna do. There's a lot of gears in motion up there that have to all click together for this to work the way it's gonna work, so we don't know.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are understanding too,
There's union contracts that have to be,
negotiating, yeah,
they have to go by the contract.
I know.
As simple as that.
Peter, were you saying something?
Yeah, regardless of what day is chosen as the day, the service itself is reduced for the residents, and that introduces a risk of losing participation in the transfer station program. And that poses a financial risk, like an existential risk, I think. So that's a concern that we may need to revisit in the future.
As far as stickers, I don't think it'll affect that, but maybe bag sales. But I don't think, once people have invested in the stickers for the year, I don't think they're gonna go curbside. 1 day of an inconvenience, I think, if it was 2, I think you'd see a drastic change.
We've sold 1,169 stickers so far.
Wow.
How many did you order initially?
1,250, I think. Hold on. We based it on what the last sticker sold at. So the last sticker, which was out for 2 years, 1,981 stickers. So I was like, all right, well, if we order, no, maybe it was, it's not 1,200, I know it's not. So in 2 years, 1,981, and we're already up to $11.69. So,
That's only the first couple of weeks.
yeah, I mean, it's only the 9th of July.
That's a lot of stickers writing.
Yes, we
Well,
know.
yeah,
Please.
and if they're doing it on, she's doing
You,
a
like,
ton
you
of
have
online.
no idea.
Oh, I've been hearing,
Huh.
I feel bad.
So, I am ordering, I'm waiting for prices, I talked to them today. I sent the email out yesterday afternoon about it.
So as for the transfer station hours, I mean, Chris, is there anything else that you could just give us for input that may help us understand and make a
As far
decision?
as when people ask questions about this, how do we direct the informational part? Like, people like come to us, hey, what are the hours? What's gonna happen? I'm like, do we say call the Board of Health? Do we say go to the website? This was Johnny's idea.
Well,
Please don't tell them to call the Board of
Yeah,
Health.
well,
I think you had kind of hit the nail on the head earlier with, you know, whatever the decision is that this board makes, it's going to be a recommendation to the select board and the union, and if they iron that out and it's all agreed upon, and let's just say it ends up being Sunday. I mean, can we get a sign up that you guys have down there? Can we get a sign or something? Just because all the people that are using the station, and again, maybe we could postpone it like a week or something, give people a week to adjust to it, so it's not just they show up on Sunday and we're closed. Hypothetically speaking, that it's Sunday, of course, but
whatever day it was, would obviously have to tell everybody on that day, this will be the last day you'll be able to utilize it until if things changed financially in the future because of the way the town voted to make reductions.
yeah, but I think the best form of getting that information out would be to actually have signage at the transfer station for the people that are using the transfer station. I mean, I think putting it, you
because
know,
those are the ones that have invested in stickers.
I mean, if we can use the police sign again, we have it, it's still up there now saying that the stickers, you have to get new stickers. So, I mean, as long as I don't think that they're using it, we can use it.
okay. Is that something that you want to communicate with them to find that out, or do you want to send an
I think that
email?
would be more of a, like, the managerial aspect.
Gil or Teresa, I'd be happy to ask about, you know, whatever the final decision is going to be, just so we can get the information out to the public. That we can use that along with Facebook notification and on the website.
Yes, and signage on premises on Sunday.
Right.
So that the Sunday crowd themselves see
Right.
on the last
Right,
Sunday.
especially Sunday, correct.
Especially on Sunday,
Yeah,
that they need to see it that day.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the best we can do, right?
See how it goes first with everything.
Right.
First. Is there anything else people would need to discuss right now, or?
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't have any other questions for you.
Well, thanks for giving me an opportunity to speak, and we'll rest of the day.
We'll see you in the
And I
next quarter
apologize,
as well.
I'm sorry, I apologize, I sent you an email about the stickers, but not the bags. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, someone went to, I think it was Shaw's, and they said, yeah, the bags are gonna be going up on this date, and they said, did you know that? And I'm like,
Yeah,
No.
I sent you an email about the stickers, but not the bags. Sorry.
I know now.
Yeah,
Chris, just
I didn't, I looked at my
Yep.
email.
Peter had just brought up again what we were talking about with just, you know, quarterly, every 3 months, you want to come in and just, or just a representative from the transfer station, one of you
Yeah,
guys just come
either
in.
one of them,
So,
you know.
Teresa, if we could maybe just try to get that on old unfinished business,
Yeah.
every
Yep.
third agenda, and just transfer station update, you know?
Yep.
And,
Quarterly.
you know, just if there's,
Just to come in and touch base, just so, you know, we're not like in mystery land up there.
is like a week's notice to try to schedule some, is that kind of good for you
I
guys?
mean, yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That should work, or do you want to try to iron it out ahead of time?
Just to make sure, like, if we just know it's gonna be busy or something, after a holiday, it's gonna be, every day it's gonna be a 4-day week probably.
Okay. All right, yeah, we'll make that happen. That sounds like it works.
All right, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, good to see you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
the action on this is to add the transfer station rep to every third meeting agenda. going
Quarterly,
forward. Yeah, quarterly. And the next action is to raise a motion to pass the recommendation for Sundays.
Yes. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that would be a good motion for Sunday.
Pending union negotiations.
Yeah, it would be pending union negotiations, and I don't know if it's select board approval,
I think it's Union and Lisa,
because I think
because they don't have any,
they don't work under,
we don't work under them.
right.
They don't have any,
Right.
yeah, so it would be Lisa, who does the negotiating with the union. As long as we let her know, that would be our preference.
Do you want to make a motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion that we convey the information to the town administrator that our preference, if the transfer station has to be closed, would be for Sunday.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Okay. Any further discussion on the motion?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
That was nice of Chris to come in.
It was. I think it's good to get feedback from the people doing the actual job up there, working. I mean, we only see and hear so much
Right.
being here. Teresa, so could we get that information out to them of what the board's position is on that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We'll just send that over to
I will.
Lisa and CC Laura, I guess, on it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay, so we also have to discuss Board of Health office hours. So we could probably just start from scratch, I guess, kind of like we did with the transfer station. So hours are currently, can we just recap like the hours currently and then what we're required to reduce them to?
Well, so currently, Monday is 8 to 5.
Yep.
Tuesday is 8 to 8. Wednesday, 8 to 5.
Mhm.
Thursday, 8 to 5. And Friday, 8 to noon time.
But that's only,
That's only
Yeah.
the department head.
department heads on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Are there lunch hours within those days, or is that straight 8 to 5?
No, there's an hour for lunch built in.
It's an unpaid
Yeah.
lunch. So they're probably working a 9-hour day and they get paid for 8.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no lunch on Fridays, I'm assuming?
No.
Okay, and so total hours that we need to reduce.
So pending negotiations, because my hours haven't been cut yet.
Yep.
I would be losing 5 hours, and Gil would be losing 10 hours.
So, Gilly, you currently work 35 and the proposal is 25. You currently work 30 and the proposal is 25.
No, I work
No,
35, going down to 30.
And Gil, you're 35 to 25.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for starters, what are the feedback from both of you? I guess if you want to just one at a time, just.
If my hours are cut,
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday nights, that's 3 hours, and then there's 2 more hours, so I don't know, it could be leaving at 4 on Wednesday and Thursday, or, yeah, that's probably the easiest thing to do. So it'd be 8 to 5 Monday, 8 to 5 Tuesday, 8 to 4, 8 to 4.
So it was Wednesday and Thursday, 8 to 4?
Yes, because I don't work Fridays.
Right. Okay. And that would add up, that would give us 3 hours on Tuesday,
Mhm.
so,
And then 1 hour on Wednesday and 1 hour on Thursday.
and where our meetings are at 4, if a meeting, most of the time our meetings are not over an hour.
So any,
But if it did go over,
then it's comp time.
it's comp time.
Well, in the contract, it's comp time or overtime, but if you're not at 35 hours, it's straight time. So most people that have meetings, I think everybody up here, Jill doesn't have meetings, but everybody up here is part-time. So they just take comp time for
Is
this.
there a rolling whiteboard that we can use to have this discussion? Because it might be helpful to see
Visual.
a visual, yeah.
That's all I got.
Only one,
Same thing.
God, does the selectman's office have anything? They would be the only one.
If it's gonna add time, I don't wanna burn time, but
Well, let's try to get through it. And
yeah,
then,
we'll try to get through it.
And then, if it turns into, a little confusion, we can try to recap and
I
just
guess
so we understand
Friday
it,
is 4 hours for Gil, right? So then we need to figure out the 21 hours that remain. How do we spread that between Monday through Thursday? If that simplifies
Well,
it.
I wanna understand a bit more about the nature of Gil's role and whether or not he can consistently be here at any set time, or if he needs to be consistently available for inspection. Because that would influence whether or not we can negotiate, a 43-hour current office hours, 43 hours a week between, the agent with 25 hours and the assistant with 30. It doesn't seem tenable that we can maintain the current office hours
Nope.
with,
Can't do it.
given the nature of Gil's
There's
role
not
and the
there's
reduction.
not enough hours.
Right.
I 100% agree. That was my first thought on it, that, you can't get 100% out of less. You can't, it's that simple. I mean, you can't reduce one thing and the other thing stays in full force. You can't, you don't have the coverage, and we need the outside coverage as well. We don't have two office employees, like you had said. We don't have, an admin and a department head that stays in the office. His responsibility is to go out and do food inspections, do septic inspections, that kind of stuff. I think, like what you're saying, I don't think we have a choice other than to somehow reduce the office hours to compensate for this.
Agreed. And as precedent, I think that the conservation agent will be experiencing the same constraints. So will the conservation agent's hours be reduced? Because it's only the agent
Correct.
that's managing that office.
Well, there's an admin, but she's part-time. She has 20-something hours. I want to say 27, 28 hours.
Okay. Do you have more insight about how they're managing the schedule change so that we have a
So her hours are 8 to 2. Her hours have always been 8 to 2, and her hours are not changing. I don't know what he's going to be.
I think hers were reduced. I think just the agent was reduced.
Just the agent was reduced.
Yeah, just the agent. No, Lon's not reduced. No.
So it was at the same reduction, 35 to 25 for the conservation?
Yes. And their board is discussing it tomorrow.
The reason I bring this up, I know that we're very separate agencies, but the experience for the Hanson resident, like we don't want to, let's try to have something that compares to another agency.
My only concern with the Tuesday night thing is someone that, that's a late day. A lot of town halls do that. They have a late day. How would we are we talking about both of you reducing your hours on Tuesdays, or would we still have a late day with someone with staffing?
A late day.
My Tuesday nights,
Yeah.
I put in those hours.
Mm-hmm.
I take an average of 2.5 hours or 3 hours. Move that to a Friday.
Yeah.
It's a Friday in the office, and I used to do inspections Friday afternoons, and switching that over. So I've kind of worked on what makes sense doing, trying to make this look right in some way, shape, or form, for the public also, and for myself. Not to be bouncing around 4 hours here, 6 hours here, something. I'll come up with that. You want to hear this now, but I'm looking at 25 hours.
Could we just back up for 1 second,
So,
Gil?
Yeah.
Can you just run us through what your 35 hours are currently?
Okay, Monday,
Yep.
8 to 4. And Tuesday was 8 to 4.
Yep.
Wednesday's 8 to 4.
Yep.
Thursday's 8 to 3. And Friday was 8 to 12.
Okay. So that's your 35 there.
But it's not really his 35 because he's missing an hour each day where he's taking a paid hour for lunch. He really should be working 8 to 5 and taking an hour lunch. So he's really only working 7 hours a day with his current schedule.
That's the schedule that was originally set up.
Yeah, I don't know who set it up.
That was I can look that up.
Okay, but, all right, so we'll put that aside for a second. I think,
Yeah.
Because it has to be cut down to 25 anyway. But so right now, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it looks like, Teresa, you're essentially in the office for an extra hour
Yeah, 8 to 5.
a day to. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So just,
Because since I don't work Friday, the 4 hours during the week,
Mm-hmm.
he's
spreads
here
it.
on Friday. Yeah,
you're off on Friday.
correct.
Okay, so you're
All
out.
the admins are off on Friday.
You're 8 to 5 on Monday, 8 to 8 on Tuesday, 8 to 5 on Wednesday, and 8 to 5 on Thursday.
Correct.
Those are your hours.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yep.
I think we're doing the same exercise.
Your head's not spinning.
We have current hours. And then help me understand this. So there's going to be an impact to the hour lunch then, right?
Not for
No,
me.
not for her.
For him.
She
maybe.
already does the 8 to 5.
Yeah.
She does a 9-hour shift and takes an hour for lunch. So that's her 8-hour day.
Okay, and you leave the office during that hour? Like you take.
Generally, yeah.
Good. All right. So are we like, is the office currently closed from like 12 to 1? I'm sorry, I just need to
No,
understand.
usually he goes 12 to 1. I usually go like 2 or 1:30. I go late.
So you manage it so that the office is open all day?
9 times out of
Whatever you
10,
will be
yeah.
there. Okay.
9. I mean, there are days like yesterday. I was in a meeting from 12 to 4:15. I didn't take a lunch, so I left here at 4:30, and the office closed at 4:30.
Got it.
Yeah.
So
So
there's
there
no-
are some days like weird things happen,
Yep.
but 9 times out of 10, yes. When he's at lunch, I'm in the office.
Thank you. Understood.
Question: How, on a typical Tuesday, when you're here, how busy is it?
It's not busy.
It's not busy.
And
So
there's only one admin that works less than 35 hours that's here on Tuesday nights.
okay. So
Most admins that don't work 35 hours are not here on Tuesday nights. The office is closed.
just brainstorming here. I mean, regardless of what our decision is, it's just kind of I thought of it, but can we possibly get our own Dropbox, or
Well,
at
we have
least
to-
get a sign? I mean, I know the Dropbox is out there outside.
No, but we have so during COVID,
Yep.
we bought a Dropbox that's when you walk in the lower parking lot,
Mhm.
the Dropbox that's to the left of the door. We bought that. I don't remember if we actually paid for it or if we used COVID money for
Is
it.
there a sign on our door?
No, people
There's
just know that if they're
right.
going to drop something, they drop it in there, and whoever wants to, and then whoever picks it up puts it in the various mailboxes.
All right.
I have
No,
a
I'm
key
not.
for it.
I'm
though.
not. I'm not concerned about it getting to us if it makes it in the Dropbox. I'm just saying, if we reduce hours and just anyway, if we could just put some sort of a permanent signage just on the door, if someone, especially where we have to reduce hours. The office hours are going to
Right.
reduce.
Yeah.
That if someone comes up to the Board of Health, that they're not going down. They're not
Nope.
going down to the selectman's office saying, "Hey, they're closed." They're going to the clerk, "Hey, they're closed." That there's a sign there, reduced hours, whatever, we're closed.
Yeah, we could post hours,
Yep.
but there's also plans fit underneath our door.
Yeah.
I was going to ask about
Yeah.
that. Can they still?
But I'm just saying something more permanent and professional that we can just say,
Yeah.
look, signage that says there's a drop box at the lower level entry door. Please leave any, and then we can at least. I'm just thinking for, like my personal schedule. Even if I couldn't make it here during the week, especially with these reduced hours, how am I going to get something to the Board of Health? Whether it's an application or a submittal or a letter I want to get on the agenda because of a complaint or whatever. How would I accomplish that? I'm just kind of trying to put myself in someone else's shoes if they can't physically get here when we're opening. So
Yeah,
at
they
least
can
there's
put it under the door, or they can put it in the Dropbox.
right. But most people, I don't feel would just go doing that. They come up here. The door's going to be locked. They're going to maybe go next door and say, where's
They're
the
gonna
Board
be
of Health?
closed
What are the
if
hours?
they're gonna be
Right.
closed.
Right. So I mean, at least something more permanent that just can make it very.
Yeah, we can do that.
Very elementary school.
Yep.
Someone just step 1, 2, 3. These are reduced hours. Sorry if we missed you. There's a drop box at the lower level door.
Or if the office is closed, please slide things under the
Yeah.
door or whatever.
Yeah.
That need to be left.
Yeah, because if they have access to the building, they can put it underneath the door.
Right, and access to the building will still be, I'm assuming, late
Yeah.
on Tuesdays because of the selectmen's meetings.
Because they have,
stuff like that.
and then there's other meetings going on.
And the the building will still be open to 5 even if we were to reduce to 4 on some days.
Yeah.
So they'll still have full access to the normal operating hours for drop off. I guess
You
is
just
what
don't have
I'm
a
saying.
person.
Is there concern about PHI with any of the drop off? And is it a secure lockbox?
It is. It's kind of like a mailbox. Like you pull it down, you put it in, and you go like this, and it drops down.
And it's big enough to
It's-
hold.
Oh, it's huge.
I mean, the opening.
Oh,
big enough to
yes,
put-
it's huge. I mean, that's what we used because the building was closed to the public during COVID,
Okay.
and that's why we bought it.
And it's still there.
Yeah.
What types of things, like drop off would be documentation supporting inspection?
Like a plan, like if somebody wanted to drop
Yeah.
these off.
Yep.
Application, a plan.
And it would be nice if we had a sign down there so that people didn't come all the way up to be told to go downstairs.
Well, that's why if the building's open, they can put it underneath the door.
Right.
So those are two ideas, right? A Dropbox or a door slide.
If the building's closed, people always use the Dropbox anyways. But if the building's open, even now,
They come up.
like if Gil's on vacation, not that he's on vacation very often, but if he's not around and I take lunch, I've come back several times and there's been stuff shoved underneath the door. That's just
It's people that know.
that's common practice.
I'm just thinking something so we're not leaving anything to question
we
for
can
someone
put
that doesn't
I mean,
understand.
obviously we can put a sign up. Yes,
Put a sign,
Yeah.
maybe we can put, the Board of Health phone number on there, we can put the email address or something like that, that just, ways for people to get in touch where we have to reduce hours.
Mm-hmm.
And ways for them to get information to us that needs to get to us, and then we can follow up the next business day or whatever.
And we can also use that email, the Civic Post, right?
Website.
The one that does announcements. You know the one that I told you I signed up for? Once we figure out what the hours are,
Yeah.
we could use
Well,
that.
it would be it would be changed on the town website.
Right.
Yes.
And that sends an email out to anybody that's signed up, telling them that there's been a change. That's just one other.
Another communication channel.
Yeah.
Good.
And we have the Facebook page.
I can never get.
I don't know why.
So, one thing I'd like to bring up, I don't know how this would get handled. So, as a health agent, I mean, you're not necessarily on call, but sometimes things happen and you need to report somewhere. I mean, how do we handle that? I mean, on top of reduction of hours, I mean, how is that handled?
So Friday is the use case right now, because Teresa's not here on Friday,
Right.
and Gil is.
Right.
So when there is an inspection, there's an urgent inspection, you just close the door, say, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the current protocol that we're leveraging on Fridays when we have reduced staff concerns on that day and concurrently. If you get called out,
Well, go ahead, Ken.
Well, oh, it's, you never know you get called up. You know, it happens 2 or 3 times a week, 4 times a week sometimes. You get called up. Fire department call, police call, resident complaining. You never know what's going to happen. It does happen quite often. Things happen. The town's going through a lot of changes, and so the people are demanding more services from everybody. And here we are, cutting services. So, the Friday, I'm not, thrilled about Friday. Didn't do justice to myself. I'm not taking vacation time. I'm not taking my time off. I've had to work, and I guess I've made it too easy for everybody, as far as installs and all that. I responded to their calls, and we try to make things safe too, because we don't like to leave wet holes open or deep holes open. So I'm always responding. If there's something that's, I don't like, I respond to it and take care of it. So like I say, I've worked too much. I put too many hours into the job. So now it's going to be cut back, and there's going to be, some disappointed people, but it's what it's going to take place. It's going to cut back, and I've got to learn to take my time off that I earned.
But
right now it's like 15 days. So.
But what hours were you looking for?
Well, we haven't got into that yet, but I was looking,
Right, but I already told them, so.
yeah, Monday through Thursday,
Okay.
25 hours, 8 to 2:15.
Whoops.
And that's not including Friday, because Friday's a wasted day sometimes,
So,
Thursday. I'm sorry, what were the hours? Monday through Thursday?
Yeah, 8 to 2:15.
So if I
With no
understand you
lunch.
correct,
8 a.m.
Gil, your
to
proposal and recommendation to us, what you feel would work for both you and the office is
Yeah.
8 to 2:15
Yeah.
across the board, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that comes out to 25 hours.
Yes.
And no Friday?
And Friday, we would just be closed because you're the only one here on Friday.
But he's department head, I don't know if Lisa will.
Well, I mean, I don't think personally as an employer, and I have employees, and then also me on the flip side of being an employee, to take 25 hours and make someone come in 5 days a week, I don't think that's right.
I don't know what the rule is about department heads. I just know that that's who covers the offices on
No,
Friday.
I understand. I'm just saying, from my perspective,
Right.
because at 25 hours, you need to go get another job.
It's,
I don't think there are any department heads that are 25 hours.
I mean, 25
They're all-
hours isn't
They're all
gonna.
Everybody
30.
else-
They're all 35
Are
hours.
they all salaried?
He was salaried.
Right, but I mean, that's what I'm asking. Are they all salaried?
No, most of them are hourly. He
Are
was one of
Friday and Monday options, or would you prefer Friday?
Monday is a day I have to work Monday.
You have to work Monday.
Yeah, Monday, because, payroll, there's different things that happen Monday, and things that happen over the weekend.
Got it.
I'm still working on what's gonna happen on these calls, when the calls come in, that go beyond the 25 hours.
it
Yeah,
would
well,
be comp time.
That was really my question. I think
No?
it came out wrong, but that was my
Yeah,
question
It would
that
have
we're
to be
talking
comp
about
time.
scheduling, and how do we handle that if it goes over 25 hours?
So the way it's normally handled with, again, this is union people, like for meetings and stuff, it's comp time, or we have a contract that you could get paid for it, but obviously that wouldn't be the case because he doesn't fall under a contract. And it's comp time. But again, there's no other, he and the conservation agent are the only two part-time department heads. All the other department heads are 35 hours, they're all full-time.
Comp time just means. he
Which
can
is
take
why
off
they're here on
another day.
Fridays too, because so when it goes over,
That means
again,
another
if he
week
gets,
might be
if he
leaving.
gets called out on a Saturday, there might be a Thursday he's not even here because there's so many hours of comp time that he has. But you know what, there wasn't a lot of thought put into any of this.
Thank you guys for thinking about what's best for you and sharing too. 'Cause, you've already got a proposal. The math that in your proposal works. And our discussion about it is how does it work best for you? How does it best work for the residents?
Mm-hmm.
And Gil, right now, if you get called out on a Friday, which happens, the office is unavailable on Friday. So there's precedent that the office is unavailable on Friday when and if you get called out. So there's that.
I have my cell phone, police and fire, everybody has my cell phone.
We wouldn't want you taking calls on that Friday if it's a planned day off. So just so I'm clear and we're all clear, the current proposal for the agent is 8 to 2:15, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with Fridays off. And for Teresa, the change happens on Tuesdays, reducing from 8 to 8 to 8 to 5, and on Wednesdays and Thursdays, reducing from 8 to 5 to 8 to 4.
Right, and of course, pending union negotiations.
Right.
Of course, pending.
Everything's pending.
Yep. So is this another recommendation from the board? Here's this is the proposal from the board, right?
I feel that's how it should work. I mean,
Yep.
I don't think we should just be making a concrete decision that, hey, effective, immediately these are the hours, but I think it should be, it sounds like to me like it's kind of a joint overall agreement between the employees, the union, the select board office and us.
Mhm.
That,
For Teresa, it
That's
is,
how
but
I
for
feel.
Gil, it's not.
right, Gil
Yeah.
does work for the board of
He
health.
works for us.
We do set those
So-
hours. We can make that, we do make that decision. That's really for
Right.
no one else to make.
Right.
Um,
But for Teresa's, it would have to be a recommendation.
But they do kind of need to go hand in hand, so we have, maximum amount of coverage that we can with what
Right.
we've been dealt.
No.
Yep.
What is the lowest day for inspections and for foot traffic in the office? Is it Friday?
I'm not here on
It's
Friday.
a hard call. I mean, it depends on.
It
lot of
depends
real
on-
estate agents,
Yeah.
real estate agents,
Yeah,
it's 24/7,
So inspections are unknowns. What about foot traffic?
The traffic was increased with the stickers.
Yeah.
It definitely increased.
On Friday, well,
On Friday.
I'm sorry, in general.
prior.
Yeah,
on
I mean,
average,
basically,
what's our least foot traffic day?
well, basically Fridays was just myself and Frank upstairs here. Everybody else is going for the weekends Fridays. it's all sets that they've had town hall open on Fridays, which is no one here, other than Frank and myself.
And I think people don't know the town hall's open on Friday.
All of this is making sense to me. It's pretty clear. So the lowest impact to the residents is on Friday. The most convenient date for Gil is on Friday. And the reduction in hours that you proposed to go 6.25 over 4 days is a 20, it sums to
That comes to 25, yeah.
You did math check that?
I did too.
Because I was gonna, and I'm like, that's gotta be right.
No, I did too.
All right. So,
For instance, like, on, let's see, where am I here? Okay, Friday, July 5th, 3:16 p.m. Department of Public Health may even ask for a food inspection at a local business in Hanson. And I didn't respond then, so Monday when I came in, I looked up the Maven ID number on this, and it was a local business that was a incubation period on a listeria case they had down the Cape. So I had to go to that business Monday morning right off the bat and talk to them about the product. The person claimed they ate at the business and discuss with them if they're in compliance at that. But this came in at, like I said, 3:15 last Friday, and I responded Monday morning. I didn't answer. It's the first time I ever got one of these. I wasn't sure if it was spam or something because I very really may even do this, but it came from an epidemiologist to do a food inspection at this particular business.
So what I, through my own filter, there's a risk that incidents like this may be missed in the absence of a health inspection.
But he would have only have been here till 12, so he would have still found it Monday morning.
Right.
One way or the other.
So
Normally, I would have responded to this.
Right.
I would have come to, because I only go on Maven on my laptop in here. I would have come to the town hall, looked it up to see who it was, and then respond to that business that day.
I guess what I'm asking, Gil, is a reduction in your hours is a reduction in availability for you to respond to potential emergencies. And we should communicate that as part of our recommendation.
No, it was 2 Fridays ago, I was called out by the fire department to a home on Walton Street in Montponton. It had a strange smell in the cellar. And they were there, had a water leak. The water came into the cellar of the house, and a strange smell came in. So at first they thought it was a septic system, but the house had a brand new septic system installed. I went down there, reviewed the thing, and what had happened, this is a long story, kind of. The installer, when he did the septic system, he pulled out a barrel that was right next to the bulkhead in the cellar. There was a plastic barrel with holes in it. And the people that, had the house there, the septic was there, they took a 55-gallon plastic drum, drilled holes in it right beside the cellar bulkhead, and started putting sewage into it.
That's disgusting.
My goodness.
Okay? So it was my determination that, no, if the new septic system was functioning, it was installed right, but the smell that was in the house, in the cellar, was the actual barrel he had taken out when he installed the new system, because that was a plastic barrel, and he took it out and moved something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the office didn't close that day, 'cause I was here doing stickers.
So I never know. You never know what's going to happen. There's oddball things that happen. Shaw's, when they lost power that time, I was there a day and a half. Over $50,000 worth of food was thrown out that day, that week. So you don't know. It's that's things you can plan, things you're just not going to plan.
So as far as getting to 25 hours from 35, I see it on paper, but as far as the job duties go, there is no way I see Gil ever going out and doing soil evaluations at 25 hours a week. Going out of the office for 4 hours or 8 hours on an all day. There's no way I see that in the near future. And even inspections, sometimes going and doing inspections of systems, food inspections, we can see how it goes. This is the hand we've been dealt. We have to make a decision, but 25 hours is...
Even doing the water testing for Kiwani, because now he has to drive to, is it Middleborough?
They changed it, used to be Marshfield.
Yeah, you can't even do it in Marshfield. You have to drive all the way to Middleborough.
But these things, similar to the transfer station and what you were saying, we might have to revisit on costs and that kind of stuff down the road if we are, losing memberships there for that. I think those are some things we may have to revisit with. I had said it before about utilizing Colin for doing, the soil testing, that we actually do produce a revenue on that. And maybe we can, if we need to use him on more inspections
if he's available.
Or
yeah.
if we can start using someone on inspections to do some of the food. I don't know. I'm just saying we might need to revisit some of that stuff if 25 hours is not going to get us to the finish line.
So what's the impact to town services based on the reduction in hours? It's the inability to meet all inspection needs, and so we need to articulate that to town administration that this is the impact of this reduction, so that we have metrics supporting the outcome, right? So we know it's going to be upset people, et cetera, or delays.
Right. I mean, it's
Another, for instance, Mr. Eager on Main Street, when he finished that building, we went down and tested the septic system on a Friday. Up there at noontime, went there Friday to run the pumps and the septic tank and fill the D-box, 17-hour D-box. Took a couple of hours to do this. And because the grader was coming that next day to start grading, because we had a July 1st deadline on filling that building up. Restoration coffee, that was done on a Friday after I left here. So the inspection there for him to open up that Monday. And it was,
And you were working extra time at that time anyway. If it was 8 to 12 and you extended your day to do that inspection.
the hours that I didn't,
Right. And now,
the hours I didn't work during the week I utilized. I mean, and it's kicking me in the butt now.
I got it. So there's an impact to office hours, and that might be the perceived impact. But there's also an impact to services. So the office hours impact based on the proposed schedule is the formerly open 8 to 12, no longer open 8 to 12. Formerly supporting late nights on Tuesdays, no longer supporting late nights on Tuesdays. Mm-hmm. And then the office itself closes at 4 o'clock on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So
correct.
No impact to office hours. We can communicate. So the impact to the resident based on the impact to office hours is availability. Additionally, is Gil's capacity to support inspections. So 10 hours of Gil's time might equate to 3 inspections. Non-responsiveness to an emergency. How else do we want to articulate the impact?
Well, I think one of the biggest things, and Teresa can attest to this, but she's part of this stuff, these real estate agents. The septic system gets done. We had a real estate agent last week that she went and picked up the as-built from Shane McLaughlin because they're passing papers that next day or something, and brought the as-built to me here, and to sign for the certificate of compliance and everything, and it just, her name was Irma, she used to work for the town. And it's always pressure. The real estate agents and real estate closings, it's constant pressure from them people.
So I think right
There's
there
a
with
lot
that
to
stuff.
it. It's just like,
No, I agree, Gil, but I think that stuff there, I mean, that's more of you accommodating someone else's poor planning or last minute things.
Yes.
That, that stuff, you just do the best you can. But at the end of the day, you didn't put them in that position. They put themselves in that position. So, I mean, we do what we can, but I mean, we can't just accommodate poor planning and
just let them know that the hours, we're going to be closing earlier.
That's it. I mean, our hours are our hours, our budget's our budget, and, we need to get down to what those proposed hours, and we have to find a way to do that. And, I work for real estate agents too, and it's always last minute.
Yeah.
Get a smoke detector inspection the week before the closing, and it should have been done.
Yeah.
At least a preliminary inspection, a month or so before, but it happens last minute, and then everyone's scrambling, and I think all you can do is you can be as helpful as you can, but
that's what I tried.
and that's it.
Even on Teresa's behalf here, because, as soon as the house hits the market, there's 15 people knocking on her door.
Right.
There's 15
Right.
people that pulls her away from her dinner to assist these people. And we're service orientated to the people that walk through our door.
Right. Right.
So brings me to the next point, mitigation, right? We understand the constraint is office hours and availability. We understand the impact to residents, the impact to services. As a board, we have to think about mitigation. So if we have an impact to office hour availability, mitigation proposed was the drop box. The mitigation for inspector availability, I heard you say that, can we leverage Collins services? What's the cost of that? Is it above and beyond?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, as far as a scheduled inspection, I mean, it's no different than the building department being closed on, let's say Fridays. As an electrician, for example, I know the building department's closed on Thursday, or I call Friday morning and, oh, the building department's closed. I mean, it is what it is. It's, you know, it's on, the liability is on the contractor to, like Gil said, we don't want open holes, stuff like that. But these are our hours. They have to get an inspection request in within our hours. That's really, it's not our responsibility or our liability because they planned an inspection on a day we're closed. That's on the contractor. They need to ensure that the hole's safe. You know, if they dig a tank hole, I mean,
Secure the area.
they need to secure the area and follow what they need to follow within their guidelines.
How do we communicate to contractors? Is word of mouth enough?
So, I mean, again, I think we should come up with something more formal, get it on the door, hours, that kind of thing, because people aren't going to check the website. They're not going to look at the downstairs, and they're going to come right up here. The door's going to be closed and locked, and they're going to be upset. That I think to get a formal sign up there, phone number, email addresses, you know, and in the Dropbox location, you know, that kind of thing. So they can get what they need to get to us. And then maybe if we throw on there, you know, inspections are done Monday through Thursday, 8 to 2:15. You know, something like that. I mean, because that's
something that the agent's
because
available.
Those are
between
the hours of the agent.
Yep.
You know, even though we're open till 5 o'clock, you don't need someone calling thinking they're going to get an inspection at 5.
Yes, that service is
Not gonna happen.
only available between these
In
hours.
all health agent inspections are done between 8 and 2:15. They must be scheduled, you know, day prior, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, we got to come up with a system like that, and I think that's more something, Gil, that you need to kind of manage and work on. But
Yeah, because my cell phone, 100 people have my cell phone number. Everybody,
right.
citizens, everybody.
And again, that's
And
more
they've been, you know,
that's more you accommodating and trying to be helpful.
You should
That-
put it on the machine when people call your cell phone, that these are your hours.
Right.
And you're available for inspection from
Right.
8 to 2:15, Monday
Update the
through
town
Thursday.
website. Yep, update.
Yeah, but on his voicemail for his cell phone.
So they don't expect to call
Right,
back.
so,
Oh,
right,
update cell phone.
yeah, update the cell phone message so that,
good idea.
So
Yeah.
I can tell you, like from my experience in my trade, that if I put in an inspection request, usually like if I put one in, it's for the next day. That it's not, some towns are good, they're accommodating, some want them, they're all different. Some want them, like you have to call between 8 and 9 to schedule for that day. Some you have to call that day to schedule for 2 days out, 3 days out. They're all different, but I believe it's 72 hours they have to inspect to respond, to actually come out and do an inspection from time of request for me. When it's a trench or underground inspection, it's supposed to be 24 hours within 24 hours of your request. Business days, not I can't call and leave a voicemail on a Saturday
Friday.
kind of thing, or a
Right,
Friday.
right.
That I don't know if there's anything within Title V. That's a good question that requires.
Is it 48 hours in Title V?
I'm not sure, but we
Something
should
like
review that, get clarification
Yeah.
on that, because just to make sure we're within the guidelines of that. If there is a time frame set that it says all inspections must be done from blah blah blah, a certain time of request. I'm not sure, but
I've never
there
heard
may
that
be
before.
there may
Yeah.
be something in there that gives you a
Yeah.
time limitation that you're required, because after that time limitation's expired, you know, as far as like if you're sheetrocking, you can close that wall up. If
Yeah.
the inspection's not done, you requested it, you have documentation. I mean, that's it. I mean, they missed their opportunity, kind of thing. That someone could backfill a trench, they can, you know, they can do what they need to do because they did their part. They notification that their liability now is they need to
Yeah,
close things
I've never
up.
heard
So
that before. But
just something to look into, just to make
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
that we're doing things correctly.
Our inspections aren't permit driven though, right? It's just the inspection of, it's not permit then inspection. Or is it
yeah,
Hence,
it's
So
permit.
this is technically the
permit then
permit.
inspection?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is technically the permit, and you know that they'll correct me if I'm wrong, but basically this is done by property owner, civil engineer. This comes to us, gets approved. The installer will come in,
Mhm.
pick up
Pull
the
the
actual they'll get a permit and they'll pick up the approved plan.
Mhm.
They're supposed to have this with them on site for all their inspections. They do the install.
Got it.
Now they do a bottom hole. They dig it out. The sand goes back in. So they get a bottom hole inspection. Probably what's happening is, Gil's accommodating, trying to help people going so they can keep working, because you don't want to be sitting around waiting 4 hours for an inspector to show up, paying guys. I mean, so he tries to be accommodating, that they're calling him, hey, Gil, can I get an inspection this morning? And he's probably over there right away to keep them moving, because that's what he does. He tries to be helpful. He's accommodating. But someone should really be calling the day before saying, I'll be ready for a bottom hole inspection at noon. Can you schedule that? And again, a lot of contractors are last minute. They don't plan ahead like that, but they should be. And we can only accommodate so much, especially with the limited hours.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
And when we can accommodate, you will, but in general, yeah, okay. So mitigations are Dropbox, communicate hours to impacted stakeholders, which is putting a placard on the office door, posting contact details, posting service details, hours, update and cell phone message, and updating the town hall website. So we have a proposal to the hours that are, to the recommended hours changed by Jill and Teresa. We understand the impact to residents, and we have ideas for mitigation. Is this what we need to present back to who? Who does this, would this go to Linda? Lisa, I keep on saying that,
So,
I'm sorry.
so as far as the agent's hours,
Not the agent.
that doesn't need to go to anyone. But I feel that we need to make that kind of coincide with what the hours of the admin assistant are gonna be,
When they change, you mean?
you know, if they change. That, you know, I think they gotta kind of go hand in hand, even though we solely make one of those decisions. The other one is more, you know, a supportive decision, I guess. You know, recommendation, supportive decision.
Okay. Are the proposed hours like meeting that requirement, do you think? The 8 to 2:15, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the inspector, and then Teresa's hours.
I mean, I don't see a problem with closing Friday. I mean, if there's an emergency, there's an emergency. It could happen at midnight on Tuesday. I mean, we don't have coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different to have something on Friday. And
I agree.
I mean, we have to cut the hours. That's what it comes down to. We have to get from 35 to 25,
Yeah.
and you can't do that with staying open all these days. And I don't think it's right as an employer to make someone come in 5 days for 25 hours. That's just my personal opinion. Because that takes away your ability to pick up another part-time job, say on Friday that we're closed.
If I'm throwing my negotiator hat on, Gil, and if I were to negotiate this just without a lot of like this type of dialogue, I might ask, and I'm proposing this just to play devil's advocate. Why couldn't you do 8 to 2:15 on Monday and Tuesday, and 8 to 2:15 on Thursday and Friday, where we have coverage on Wednesday in the office? That might be a question that comes up. And how do we answer that?
But what was the 8? But you don't want to 8 2:15 on Friday because the building closed at 12.
Because okay,
So
The building's only open till
Thank you.
noon time on
No.
Friday.
yeah,
That's
so
it.
that would be the only
so we would have to
change to something.
play wacky hours.
Yes.
So I think the other part of that, Peter, the question you asked is, so as far as office coverage, both employees can do that. To a certain extent. They can be there, they can, you know, accept things, help out the best they can when the customer comes in. But as far as inspections go, only the agent
Only Gil.
is doing those.
Yep.
And I think that Wednesday is far more important than Friday. Just my opinion, from a working perspective. As a contractor or as a business being open, that kind of thing. That I think more productivity is going to happen on a Wednesday than a Friday. Would you agree?
I agree.
And Friday has less foot traffic as well. So yeah, I mean, there's a
We've
lot
got
of
a
reasons
lot
why
more.
Friday is the right day.
We've got a lot more construction still happening. We've got Ritters project, which, I mean, that's gonna be, just the, I would say the inspections for that is probably gonna be at least 4 or 5 days total from start to finish in that job, at least 4 or 5 days of inspections there. We got, Spring Street, I mean, we did the first 4 units, it was 2.5 hours out there, because sanitary manholes, the steel plates came off, the sanitary manholes got dirt in them already, so, Dandel had to clean them all out. They had to clean the sanitary manholes out. They had to clean a couple of septic tanks because of the rain and the steel plates don't stay on the cover. So this is all stuff that I know this, with a lot of people don't, and trying to explain to anybody they don't understand. You gotta be, savvy. It's tough. It's not an easy thing. So.
Yeah, no, thank you. That makes sense. The justification for closing on Friday and the conversation with the devil's advocate is that it's a less busy day for the office in general. It's already a reduced office hours day. There are less inspections held on that day, and it aligns the agent and assistant's hours to be working together. I think those are all the right reasons why Friday, why it makes sense for you not to be here on Friday. Are there any other concerns? I'm sorry to play. Are there any other concerns with the hours proposed? Anything else we need to chat about?
I mean, I think it's a tough decision, but I think where our discussion has been going, I think makes sense. I was curious real quick, so I just looked up Whitman, Board of Health, Monday through Thursday, closed Fridays, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4.
Aligned with other towns.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up Halifax. Carver's a good town to look up. Let me look at that real quick.
Teresa, do you want me to take a capture of this? Do you have all this? We're doing a lot of going on.
She probably has it all typed up.
No, I have it all typed up.
Great.
Thank you.
Hey Siri, what are the hours of the Halifax Board of Health? Amazing.
I can't help you with that.
He is.
I can look it up.
I think they're closed Fridays, I want to say.
Could be, hold on.
I want to see
A lot of places are closed Friday.
Friday, a lot of them are closing
Are they?
Friday.
Let me see.
This is what, Google says they're open
Halifax Board of Health.
Monday through Thursday, 7 to 4:30. Tuesday, they have a late day, 6:30.
7 to
Who's that?
4:30.
7
Can we
a.m.
change our hours to 7?
Gee.
That'd be awesome.
Nobody would know you were here.
Rockland's open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30.
Yeah, Rockland's a little,
Rockland's busy.
a little busier, more of a, not a city, but, you know.
They're open, that's the only town hall I know of that's open all day on Friday.
I come across it a lot. I'll go try to get permits and stuff like that. A lot of it's online now. It's great, actually. Once you get everything straightened out and everything uploaded, it's quick, but you still always try to get inspections and get permits, and you show up and you can get in. The building's open, but a lot of the building department, board of health, stuff like that, they always, seem like they're closed, but.
Well, and if people have meetings and everything on other days, Friday is the day that they use as their comp time,
Makes sense.
a lot of times.
Yeah, we're gonna see shortly the impact on this. I've been told again today, make sure I don't go over 25 hours, and don't supposed to pay for anything over 25 hours. And I asked about, the on-call stuff, and she told me, well, I'll get to that when it happens. Just document everything. So what are we gonna do about this? So that's still up in the air, what they're gonna do, because it does happen.
Okay. So there's an open request to understand comp time related to like inspections that run over and things like this. That would happen during straight time anyway. So, but now I think you're going to be more vigilant about your hours. They cut them. Yeah.
Yes.
Best way to move forward on this?
I feel like we should take two separate votes. One to set the agent's hours. For now, it can always be revisited in the future, but I think we have to make a decision on that, set those hours. And then I think we should take a vote of support or a recommendation to, wage and personnel and
For proposed, I think,
her proposed hours
proposed hours for her.
for the admin assistant.
Yep.
We shouldn't be setting those, but we can make a
Yeah.
recommendation on what we feel they should be and with our office coverage, I guess, with our needs. That's our recommendation.
Are we missing any points of feedback on this? Like I know Lisa is playing a larger role in managing this change across.
She's doing the negotiating. She's doing all the negotiating with the unions.
Okay. So we're not missing anything, like some concern raised by other folks in town hall about. I want to make sure we're not missing anything.
We're a separate department. You guys have department meetings? Every one of your meetings?
It's been a while. It's usually once a month.
But typically, when are they?
Tuesdays once a month.
In the morning?
Yeah, morning.
So your hours will still coincide with when they're.
Yeah.
So the department head meetings, he'd still be able to attend.
Yeah.
And we have a Tuesday meeting with fire and building and assessors and stuff, discussing the problems in the town of Hanson. So.
All right. If we're not missing any other points of view, yeah, I'm fine to move forward with it. Just as you said, Chair, we'll take a vote on Gil and then our recommendation to the assistant.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to set the health agent's hours to 8 to 2:15, Monday through Thursday, and he will be out on Fridays, which would close the office entirely on Fridays. I'll entertain a motion for that.
I just have a question
Mhm.
about the motion. Do you want to set his hours and maybe leave the office closed out of it?
Well, I mean, if we don't,
Does it have to be part of the motion?
well, I mean, if the,
If we don't have staff, we're not going to be able to keep the office open. I just don't know.
I just wanted to make it clear that people understand that
It's going to close
that
the
it's
office?
going to close, and that this board's aware that it's going to close, because it's going to be questioned, I'm sure. So that's why I included in the motion that, so it doesn't look like it's oversight on
It's
our
not
part.
oversight, yeah,
Okay.
it's with intention.
That's all,
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll entertain a motion for that to set the health agent's hours to Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 2:15 p.m., which will leave our office unstaffed and closed on Fridays. With the way the hours are currently set for the admin assistant, with having Fridays off.
Do you want to make that motion?
I
I'll make the motion then, that we set the agent's hours Monday through Thursday, 8 to 2:15, and no office hours on Fridays.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any further discussion on this? No? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, now as for taking a vote of recommendation for the administrative assistant hours, I will entertain a motion for the hours to be set Monday, 8 to 5, Tuesday, 8 to 5, Wednesday, 8 to 4, Thursday, 8 to 4, and no office hours on Friday. This is a change and reduction of 1 hour on Wednesday, 1 hour on Thursday, and a reduction of 3 hours on Tuesday, so we will no longer have a late night on Tuesdays.
I'll make the motion if I can say proposed, not in the.
I'm sorry.
We're proposing.
It's pending.
Instead of recommendation,
It's-
proposed. Pending, we know that. We're just.
I wanna make
proposing
sure.
it. We're proposing it. So I'm going
Okay,
to make
sure.
a motion that we propose pending union deliberations,
Mhm.
that the new hours for the administrative assistant are going to be Monday, 8 to 5, Tuesday, 8 to 5, Wednesdays, 8 to 4, Thursday, 8 to 4. The office will be unstaffed Tuesday evenings.
And close Fridays.
I think
Unstaffed.
I'm on Friday anyway.
Okay, right.
So I make that motion.
I second.
All right. Is there any further discussion on that? No? Okay, all in favor? Okay.
And we don't know when that starts because it's based on negotiations.
So that is one thing we didn't discuss on the health agent hours. So do we have an effective date? So
July 1st.
So it's
July 1st was the
so it's
effective date.
so
And so the budget lines were cut as of July 1st.
Right.
And I don't know how that affects the transfer station because they're still effectively working full-time.
Mhm.
And if we don't get refunded in October, we're going to run out of money to pay them.
They'll have to do a line transfer because
Okay, it's gonna be a
the
line
union
transfer.
hasn't come to agreement with the town.
When I know, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, we're spending money that we don't have.
The only money that we've spent that we don't have is on Gil, because we're waiting,
Still working
No, no, no,
35
no.
hours.
pending union.
No,
Yeah,
hers and transfer station.
I mean the Board of Health in general,
Yeah.
so
outside of the union.
my question is kind of in sync with yours, Peter, that, so what do we do about the remainder of this week? Is this an effective date as of now and we have to make up some hours that he's already worked? As in yesterday and today?
Can't go beyond the 25 hours.
He can't go beyond 25 this
So
week.
when I
He'll be
hit
at
25
16
hours,
today.
when I hit 25 hours Wednesday, I leave and come back next Monday.
Okay. So one thing that I missed, Tuesdays with meetings, how do we handle that?
Because Tuesdays he leaves at 2:15,
It would be comp time.
comp time, or on Tuesdays that we have a meeting, can you come in later? And work,
But you don't know how long the meeting's gonna
Yeah,
be.
it's 2:15,
Yeah.
so
That's the whole thing, so it would be comp time.
That's a pain for you, Gil, to have to go home and
That's,
come back
uh,
again.
Right,
I missed that.
Knowing that things are gonna get better, I'll deal with that.
Right. the hope is in October that they'll
Um,
they'll refund those positions. I don't know where the money's coming from. I wasn't at that meeting, so I don't know where they decided things were coming from.
I don't think it was articulated at that meeting.
Well, did you go? Or
No.
There was a piece of paper that said how much money was coming from each place,
Yeah.
but I don't know how they arrived, I don't know how they arrived at the amount for the transfer station that being closed that one day. How was that gonna give them the $20,000 or $30,000 in
The finance
reduction?
committee, the town accountant, that thing was floating around at the town meeting. I
Yes,
had that at the town meeting.
I saw it, but I don't know where it is now.
I don't know if I have a copy of that or not.
So are we
So what
all
do we do?
okay? Are we all okay with the Tuesday that you're gonna have a gap between 2:15 and 4, and then at the 4 o'clock meeting that you'll be gaining comp time?
I guess that's the way.
Or is that something you wanna
Watch out.
try to adjust with maybe a later start or something that may,
Maybe
Makes
something like that, stuff like that.
I mean,
That's what I thought, a later start on that, it's only once a month.
We'd have to re-propose the motion, so,
That would only be once a month, it would only be when we have a meeting.
oh, right.
Right,
So
right, it
August,
was-
September, October.
Right, and we already have the
right,
date
it's
set
not
for
every
that.
Tuesday, but it would be on meeting
Just that
days.
one meeting day, he would
Yep.
come in later.
On meeting days.
On that, yep.
And that can be something that within the department that we've decided that,
I'm okay to manage that as comp time until October, and then if it becomes permanent, maybe revisit the
Figure it
schedule.
out.
Does that work for you, Gil? Okay. We're gonna need to make a motion for that.
Probably should.
All right.
to cover it.
Should I make a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll, make a motion that, the time the agent spends with, Board of Health meeting on Tuesdays will be taken as comp time.
Do I have a second? Okay. Any discussion? Gil, you're okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I
Okay,
think
any
that,
discussion,
you know,
none?
I do,
No,
the
it's still-
discussion I have is, I don't know if the town does comp time.
They do.
Everybody else gets
Everybody
it.
else gets in this town.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
we
They weren't supposed to, but
I don't think it's, what's the right word? I don't think it's accepted that people get comp time. I don't think they're supposed to, but I think people do it. And I just don't want us to take a vote saying that he can do something that's against the regulations here.
it's,
That's my only thing. Because I think I specifically asked about comp time way back and was told that people don't get comp time here. But I
people
know
don't, but there's a new regime in town,
I-
and it's allowed by all
I just,
the other
I would
people.
want to maybe
So
hold
that would
off
be so unfair.
and be clear. We can take care of this before the next meeting maybe, but I don't think that part of what the town allows is comp time. So I don't want us to take a vote saying that we
Yep.
are gonna
You don't wanna be in
say it
opposition with town policy.
with town policy, but I think town policy is no comp time.
How do you feel about on the Tuesday that we have a meeting scheduled, Gil, that you do a late start? I mean, does that work for you? I mean, not to just play with your hours. I mean, I know you're having to adjust quite a bit. I mean, is that something that you would rather? Because I'm just looking at you're still, you know, the meeting time is one thing that we're talking about comp time, but what are you going to do between 2:15 and the meeting start at 4? Like you're still losing an hour and 45 minutes that you're not going to be compensated for.
He potentially could go to lunch because he's not taking a lunch from 8 to 2. He'd probably want to do that before he sat with us at 4. I don't know.
I'd like to be flexible with that, you know, maybe come and do a late stop. Let's
I
do a
mean,
late
again, we're
stop,
talking
yeah.
about one day a month.
One day a month.
That's what we're
Yeah.
talking about. I mean, would that, the only other concern is to get that out to the
So would that be 12 to 6:15 on that day? Because
It could be.
we're at 5:45 now.
Right.
And you'll have time to close out and do notes.
Right.
So would 12 to 2:16 be the right? Just a question.
And how do we, just because of the hours that we're gonna, you know, assign to him, how do we get that information out to the public that on that Tuesday that he's not available until, like you said, noon? Just makes it a little,
See, if people are going to be scheduling their whatever they're going to do,
Just confident, just do
So you'll be off the clock 2:15 to 4, and meetings 4 till whenever they run is comp time.
No, he was talking about him changing his hours on that day, coming in at 12 and working till 6:15.
Right, no, I understand. I'm just looking at that just being a little confusing to the general public.
Right.
And people coming in that, okay, these are the hours, 8 to 2:15 of the agent, except for every,
Second Tuesday.
second Tuesday.
This makes a
I mean,
stronger case for comp time.
I mean, not that we can't do it. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just trying to see both sides of this, so we don't have.
Because people think he's here every Tuesday, 8 to 2, and then whammy, he's not this Tuesday.
Right.
And then the office is open to 6, but might not be open to 6 because the
It's usually
meeting might
closed
end
at
at 5.
Right.
It's more confusing to residents.
Where we don't know what set time the meeting is going to run to, I think, like you said, it makes more sense and justifies comp time, because it could be a half hour, could be 45 minutes, and where we only have 25 hours a week to work with, and to waste 3 hours that the meeting's been over 3 hours ago, and he's still here, it doesn't.
And it's not within service hours.
I think we're getting the most bang for the buck, and it works for everyone with the comp time.
I agree.
If we can do comp time.
So it requires some research.
It does. We need to clarify that with the HR.
Well, I mean, I think if we set it up that way, and if it's not, we'll have to adjust. I mean, we're gonna have to adjust either way, so I think we should just make a decision on it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I
every
would
has
love favor of.
Yeah.
You need to
Yeah.
say something.
Well,
You're not saying anything. I can't.
Well, no, and every department head has it.
Yeah.
It's not a department head, it doesn't have it.
I think that makes the most sense, and if we have to adjust, we adjust.
You gotta adjust it.
Okay.
You know?
So the proposal stands. The motion stands.
Yep.
And so just retell me the motion.
So, motion to allow the health agent to take comp time for hours when he's attending Board of Health meetings.
Do you have a second?
I
I'll second that motion.
Yeah. you can
Okay.
second it. Yeah.
Any further discussion?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
No. I want to clarify before I say that we're going to give comp time. That's all.
So are you abstaining or voting no?
I'm voting no,
Okay.
only because I don't have the information.
Okay.
And where is that information coming from?
Downstairs would have to come from HR.
Well, I think we need to make decisions on this stuff now, and if we need to adjust.
But you can. You've made the decision that that's what you want to do. I just don't want to be on record as saying that we could do that if it's something that's not allowed. That's all.
So will you follow up with HR? Or
Oh, yeah, I
one of us
will.
do this?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And make sure that you guys get the information.
Awesome. And then we can
Yeah.
revisit if it's in conflict with
Necessary.
any town policy.
Right.
Okay. Well, I think we've made the decisions we need to make. If we have to adjust them moving forward, we can adjust it next meeting. So we've covered board reorganization, approved Board of Health minutes, transfer station hours, Board of Health hours. So we're on to 5, septic plants. The first one we have is going to be 458 High Street. It is. So what we have is we have 458 High Street.
Just explain what's in there.
I like the review.
So we have a 4-bedroom system. It's a pump system.
See the review notes.
Can I be adding signatures to anything while we're doing these?
Oh, yes, you can. Anything in there.
I think it's just a sieve carrier. I don't know what the lower right hand corner, left hand corner.
This is a sieve.
What are you saying?
Review notes.
The sieve notes. in
That's
corner over
that's the
there.
There
older
you go,
plan.
last
Don't
page.
take that. Don't take it.
I'm just saying the sieve.
Is that
notes
last
right there.
page?
This.
So,
What do you say?
That's an old plan. That's why it's crossed off. All right.
so this plan's designed by Webby Engineering. It's a 4-bedroom system. It's a pump system. It was reviewed on 6/10/24. We had a submittal date of 5/22. And it looks like it was revised per comments on 6/25. Comments were, for sieve analysis, should use class 1 soil, 8 minutes per inch. Sandy loam is a class 2, sieve analysis. Use sand or loamy sand, sea layer. Add magnetic marking tape to the plan. And assuming that's a no, the only waiver they're requesting is the use of a sieve.
Yeah.
And so it looks like it was revised per comment 6/25. It was reviewed on 6/10, so it looks like they did revise.
So whatever it was he asked from the analysis, they must have revised it. It might have been this.
Yeah, it looks like it's been revised from what I see. And it's been updated down on the bottom too, so. I don't have any concerns for it. I mean,
And it's just that one.
Peter or Arlene, do you have any comments?
Nope. Did you want to say revalence?
Sieve analysis was performed.
Okay. All right.
On the bottom, right?
Yes, please.
Want me to date it?
Sure. Or I can do it, whatever.
I will make a motion that we accept the plans for 458 High Street with the requested variance.
Second?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so the next plan up is 206 Waltham Street.
That's not the place you visited, is it?
No, that was already done.
This is a 3-bedroom system, system designed by McGlone Engineering.
And everything down there is close to the water. See what they're looking for. Can I just see the review? It's my favorite thing, to see what he recommended and when. You start at the bottom and it's going to be on the top.
Someone to stand out, right?
It's time to get out of here.
That's not it.
Oh, that's not it. You have it over there. All right.
So the review comments was show test pit of a butter with perk test on the plan. I don't understand what that is, but proposed inline elevations, invert a house, invert out a tank. Add words existing to these elevations to remain. I'm confused with that comment, but sounds like it was just some,
I see the words existing on the new.
Septic
and
tank
the
to
proposed
remain.
is- Yeah.
Yeah, and the proposed
oh, okay.
leaching field.
Yeah.
I don't see the first one we talked about.
Because
Yeah.
there is so
Yeah,
wall.
but the first thing was something like tested on the neighbor property.
Oh, it was test pit. Deborah, can you repeat the first
The first thing we said, mentioned.
change?
Show test pit of a butter with perk test.
Yeah.
Test pit of a butter test.
We're trying to see where that is on the plan.
Might be missing it.
I would think there would be a note somewhere.
I don't know if he's talking about the test pit location, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but it's saying a butters.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that comment is, but,
Didn't see anything. Lines.
I mean, there's no water issue, there's no water table, they didn't encounter any water table. What they did was they used, so this is what it is, I'm sorry, it's a comment over here. So seasonal high water,
Right here.
if you look here.
Yep.
So
Okay, a butter, okay.
what they're doing is they're using the abutters
Test pit.
perk test for
Yep.
for water determination because they didn't encounter any.
Yep.
They're using that to be safe. So they're calling out elevation 56 as groundwater. So
And no water encountered.
No,
Yeah.
they didn't, yeah, that makes sense.
they're not that. Yeah, I understand it now. So they're not requesting any groundwater reductions. They're not requesting any setback variances
We're just saying that that's
from
what
their
we use.
property lines. So what they're requesting is a setback off the house that the septic system serves, which is a required 20 feet. They're looking for 17 feet.
I
So they're
see that.
looking for a 3-foot reduction from the 20 to allow them 17. And again, that's for the structure that this leaching field septic system is serving, not from an abutter.
Right,
So that's the one variance request they're looking for.
and that was the one?
That's all I see. Yep. Are there any questions or comments? The other board members?
I think so. So you want a motion
Yep. I'll entertain a motion to approve the plan for 206 Waltham Street.
for 206 Waltham Street with the requested reduction from 20 to 17?
Yeah, I mean, if you want,
Or just say as noted on the plan?
I'll entertain a motion to approve the plan as proposed
Okay,
for 206 Waltham Street.
and I make a motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So signed. Thank you.
Okay. Now we go. Where's that in? Is that your paper clip?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I don't see anything else on our agenda. Is there any old unfinished business that anyone wanted to bring back up to our attention? Stuff we previously discussed and maybe we need to revisit or something I'd like to see on the next agenda?
I think there was something we talked about last month when we were waiting till, you were here, now I can't remember what it was. At least the minutes. In the minutes.
I don't have the minutes.
I thought there was something that we, yeah, the minutes are there,
I don't remember.
but there was something we were saying, yeah, we should wait till next month when Kevin's here.
Was it the
There was
reorganization?
reorganization.
It wasn't maybe it was a reorganization, maybe.
Reorganization.
Yeah, and it was, we had talked some about what are the board's objectives for, how do we set a longer, more strategic?
Yes, that's, okay,
Yep.
yes,
Like
we didn't talk about that.
No,
day.
and we can bring that up. I can
Next
table
meeting.
that for another meeting. Yeah, it's been a long day.
Okay.
I knew there was something that we said we were waiting.
I guess we'll move on to the agent's report.
Pretty much covered everything. We've been concentrating on stickers and, try to push off a bunch of things as far as some installers. One installer's been great. We left town for a few days. He was so busy, he just, decided to be in town for a week or two, so. And the concentration from the stickers, trying to, get that done and moving here because it's taking so much time. We got so many people coming in. And, one of the things I forgot to say, like, here's one of the surprises, Teresa gets the results from her own labs about the ice creams and milkshakes, and that Monday come in and McDonald's shakes had a code again. So you go back to McDonald's, they shut the machine down, can't sell the ice cream. It was chocolate milkshake shake.
That's a regular thing with them.
Constantly
That's what you
happening.
say.
So that's something you didn't plan on doing. It's something that, she gets the report, gives it to me, I go there, tell them they have to shut it down, and, they have to go clean it out and restock it and then get another test within like 5 days. So those are things you see, that don't, it's hard to, tell or explain these to people because people don't understand this stuff. And I think, and I think also, seeing what's happening, educate the board more on what the office is actually doing. And even some of the people in town. I mean, some of the people who work in this building, you talk about a septic system, they don't know. They grew up in the city. And my duties, I mean, this one of these plants here, the pump system, I'm probably visiting the pump system 5, 6, 7 times.
So, not to get you off track, Gil, I want to hit pause for 1 second for that. So, one thing maybe what we need to address is we need to go over what your scope of inspections are for a permitted job, an application, something like that.
Yeah.
And if you go outside those inspections, I hate to do it, but on the flip side, I think we need to collect, a re-inspection fee, something like that. If there's something that's not done, completed, corrected, and you have to go back out and spend more time, especially where we're cutting hours, I think we need to possibly discuss that in the future.
We don't charge for inspections though.
It's charged it's built into the permit application fee. But if you have job A,
Are you talking about septics? And I'm thinking restaurants. That's why I was wondering when you said permits. But septics, okay.
that or a permit-based inspection. So I know some building departments do that. Some electrical inspectors, plumbing inspectors. I mean, that's a common thing. It's they'll kind of let someone slide, like, oh, something happened and it's a re-inspection, they have to come back out and verify something. But if you have repeat offenders and you have something that should be a 4 inspection thing and it turned into 8, you had to go out there twice as much, especially with our reduction in hours, and it's consuming more of your time. I think that needs to be. We don't have to discuss it now. I just want to bring it up because you.
Because you also have
Do we have
the fees
For,
repeat inspections?
not for septic inspection, no.
So that's something maybe we can look into. That one, is it specified in Title V that we can't do that? What Title V does is it gives the local board of health really jurisdiction to above and beyond what Title V minimum requirements are.
Right.
And we can create our own supplements to Title V. But I think that is something, especially where hours are budgeted and finances are budgeted. I think that's something we should definitely consider.
I think so. I agree. I mean, Teresa's provided everybody with all the permit fees and everything she has, and we haven't brought that back up again. I think we were talking about bringing that back up, Teresa. The outline you gave on all the fees that we charge to go up on.
Mhm.
If you want to send that back out to them again.
I can put it on the August 13th agenda.
Maybe it's just, it's definitely, things are changing and things are, it's, things are going to get worse. I mean, hopefully they'll, reinstate our hours and stuff, but, we do generate money for the town too, so.
Right.
And yeah, we revisit the fees and, I see people out there that, should be paying double.
Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, your permit fee covers X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
That's what's included in your permit fee, and that's, with the septic, it's these 4 inspections, or 1 inspection, whatever it is. That if you go outside of that, I mean, that's on the installer or the applicant or whoever. It's not on the town to recoup that and or to lose out on that. And, it's a loss to us. That's time that you could be spending on something else that we need to get done. So, if that puts us over into comp time or it costs us money on the flip side, may not directly, but indirectly cost us money, we need to be able to recoup that somehow.
Totally agree.
Any update on Country Road, Meadowbrook?
Nothing yet. The DP was down there again. They're still discussing things with County. That section they're supposed to take out hasn't been taken out yet. I spoke to DEP, last Wednesday, and they're still, negotiating with County and the owner of the property to get that first material out. So, hoping to hear something. I would think DEP will come down with the order by now, but it hasn't come down with the order yet. So. They haven't touched the roadway, that roadway going in. It's untouchable, they're not supposed to touch it, so.
Right. And then Montponset was over full when we last met. It was
Yeah, I just got the dam report this morning. It's getting under control. They're still diverting to Silver Lake.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing, but they're diverting. Water's dropping, but things were got a lot of rain. Got more rain coming, so.
Great.
The fireworks site that canceled that call. So EPA still scoring. So East Bridgewater, that project, which they're still working on that. The water study, they're still, trying to figure out groundwater, which way it's flowing over there. And it appears, I saw the engineer the other day, PMP there, you can see it, asked him about the Hanson geological study. And he says it's, preliminary looking at it, it looks like it's flowing towards East Bridgewater.
We were going to check if there were wells or irrigation.
Yeah, that's how it's squared away there, so. They did, East Bridgewater did, create a moratorium on any new drinking wells or irrigation wells in that area.
Great.
But they also just approved that subdivision that sits behind Central Street there. It's like 55 houses or something. It's like 55, I think, houses.
That's big, yeah.
But the East Bridgewater Health has been very good communicating everything to what's going on. So.
Good.
I'm not so sure how they can put a moratorium. They can put a moratorium on tying into town resources, but to put a moratorium on you drilling a well on your own property, I'm a little confused by that.
Groundwater?
That site is, they discovered PFAS on that site.
Right, but you're saying that they put a moratorium on you drilling and installing a well on your property.
Because of the PFAS.
But again, so DEP regulations are not a pass-fail. They're recommended amounts on what the limitations are for PFAS, for organics, for lead, for, everything.
But if they're higher than the recommended, then
But it's
what?
a recommended amount. It's not a pass-fail situation where it's like, you need to meet this in order to have a certified, potable well on your property. You have to meet setback requirements. Those are requirements.
Right.
Setback from property lines, setbacks from leaching areas, that kind of stuff. But
Quality?
Water quality is a recommendation from DEP, I believe.
Yeah.
It's not a requirement.
You can drink whatever comes out of the ground.
It's your well. It's your well.
There's drinking water standards that go by.
There is. There's safe drinking water standards and record, but I don't believe any of those requirements from DEP are requirements or recommendations. I'm just confused by that they can put a moratorium on you installing a well on your property. It's one thing to put a moratorium for a tie-in. Town resources are limited. We're not allowing tie-ins on new development, from our resources.
Right.
Because it's the town's wells that fill that water tower.
But wasn't Bridgewater on the brink of not having any water?
Mm-hmm.
That was Bridgewater, yeah.
But right next door.
Yeah. But they have some
No water.
problems. They just don't, their distribution system is very lousy over there.
Yeah.
Town of Hanson has a very excellent distribution system. The best in the state.
If you do
If he
so.
said, I was going to say, he doesn't say so.
5 years in a row, 5 years in a row.
Was there anything else, Gil?
I think that's about it. I mean, I think this, just reorganizing here and everything, just going over everything. And like I say, the stickers have been created a lot of busyness for what's going on in the office. And
Teresa, was there anything that you wanted to chime in on?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, anything?
No.
Any items for the next agenda? Nothing? Okay. I'll
Nothing we haven't already moved over?
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
And 6:06.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.